that some of you were here earlier and you all got an opportunity to meet Setlists, but for those of you that did not, I'd like her to join us for this song. You must face some kind of way out here. Send my joker to the thief. Too much confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my heart. I'm a plowman, dig my heart. None of them alone alive. No identity of its worth. No reason to get excited. The fever kind of spoke. There are many here among us who feel life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through all that. Yes, we have, and this is not our fate. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late.
So there you have it. It's your boy Conserviz 34 coming in. No intro tonight. I'm gonna mix things up and get right to the point. Um, that was Watchtower from Gorge Night 2. We just finished up Gorge Night Tree, and I really think we should petition to have a 4 night Gorge run: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know everyone would be exhausted, but there's never enough Dave Matthews Band music. There's never enough Dave Matthews Band music ever, 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 ever. So I want to thank everyone who was live streaming today, IG Live. Matt Hughes specifically was Facebook videoing me so I could actually see it. And just to give you guys a little bit of a preview of what my face was looking like when they closed out with What You Are, let's go over to the video, or to the screenshot from Twitter. This thing was just amazing. So let's pull this up here. That's your boy Conserviz 34 right there. Just like, yo. And we'll get to What You Are here in a second, but I want to talk about this set. This reminds me a lot of watching the big three Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics, if you guys don't know, they're an NBA basketball team. In 2008, they won the NBA title. They won the championship with three key players: Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. And you guys see me with the Ray Allen Conserviz 34 shirt, his UConn shirt from college, right? I'm a Sixers fan. I don't even like the Celtics, but in college there was free tickets or discounted tickets to see them, and I just said, "Hey, I want to see these great players at the end of their career." Now, the Boston Celtics. The reason I bring this up, the big three, they were past their prime. Okay, by that meaning they had their best years were behind them, but they were still good, and they were actually very, very. They were smarter than they were. They were more efficient. Ray Allen hit more 3 pointers as he got older. Now the rules changed as well. And he started to hit more 3 pointers as he got older because things allowed for him to get better. And there were less defensive things that you could do to stop him as the NBA became a little more lenient and they wanted to be less physical. So I saw the big three play the Washington Wizards. Now, the Washington Wizards were not a good basketball. Well, they were all right, but they were never winning anything. But the Washington Wizards came out in the first and second quarters and they really played well. They had a lead for those quarters. They had a substantial lead. This is around 2009, 2010, I believe. Again, when I was in college. Actually, I think it had to be, I think it was early 2010. Okay. I'm trying to see if we can get Andy here. All right. So the Boston Celtics were down at half. Even in the third quarter, the Wizards still were hanging around. But what happened was in the fourth quarter, this is in the middle of a long season. In the fourth quarter, the Boston Celtics shot lights out. Ray Allen was hitting those corner threes. Paul Pierce and KG were doing their thing at the mid range and in the paint. And the Boston Celtics won that game at home. And they never really led until the last 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, they may have led at the first couple minutes, but after that, they were down bad. but they pulled out an awesome, entertaining fourth quarter in the middle of an 82-game season. And that's exactly what Dave and the crew did tonight. Now, I want to distinguish a couple of things as I talk about this. I saw Proudest Monkey, shout out to Rab, the vocal coach for Dave Matthews. That Proudest Monkey opener on paper is trash, but in like actually looking at the gorge and the sunset was probably amazing in person. And that's one thing again about the gorge, you have to distinguish that certain songs hit different there. Proudest Monkey has not been anything since I first heard it my first show in 2012. The song just doesn't hit the same. I don't know how you fix it. I don't even think it's the band's fault because the band is actually, they play it really well. It just doesn't hit to me. And I actually love the studio version of that song. I used to run at sunset and Proudest Monkey would end some of my jogs. But it just doesn't hit for me. And I've heard it a bunch of times in the last 2 years. Doesn't hit for me. But at the gorge, I understand that. But after that, you have a Satellite, which to me, at this current version of Satellite, and most versions of Satellite, is not for me. You have a PMP to Rapunzel. Now, what's cool about the Rapunzel is Dave kind of messed up, and they had like a 2-minute jam or so. That was cool, but it's still PMP Rapunzel. It's not like it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. And a great set of PMP Rapunzel is great. But we want some bangers. We have a Do You Remember? Nah, not for me, dog. It's going to be a no. Sounds great. Again, it sounds, they really play this song well. Not a song I really like. Right? Then we have You Might Die Trying, which is a good song. But when we're 5 songs into the last night of the gorge, and there's a lot of songs on the table, it's good, but I want great. And let's say You Might Die Trying is actually a song that's better after Leroy passed away, in my opinion. They did, like, Tim actually shines on it, and they really, really got this thing going as time. It's gotten better with age. It's Your Thing. Again, not a bad performance of it, but I don't want to hear It's Your Thing at the. I want to hear some Dave Matthews. And last year would have been fine. The alternate format would be fine because they had limited personnel. But I want to hear I want some makeup D&B songs. After all the covers they did this Gorge weekend so far, another cover. Then they have Lie in Our Graves. This is when the show really starts. Lie in Our Graves. Now, Again and Again is a song I actually do like, but again, pun intended, I want some bangers. Where is the Stone? Where is Shotgun? Funny the way it is. Again, if I'm at a show, I don't mind it, but I'm at Gorge Night 3. I want some bangers. Lover Lay Down, beautiful song. This is a good song, okay? I'm not going to knock that song. Jimmy Thing comes on. Now, I pointed out, let's listen to Jimmy Thing. I did like this Buddy Strong exchange. I did like this Buddy Strong exchange here. And, oops. Let's do a quick shout out to thanks to Matt Hughes here. All right, so there you have it, right? I think that's good. I like that, but it's still Jimmy thing. Okay, I want some bangers. Where's my bangers at, huh? Where is my bangers at? I need to find them. We need to find it. We need to take the law into our hands and find some deep cuts. Cornbread comes. I know some people like cornbread. I know some people don't. I know Joe. I've heard this with Joe Lawler before, and it's great. But again, I want some bangers. Steady as we go. Now, this is where, to me, this is the best run. I would argue this is the best run of the entire Gorge weekend. This is where it starts. Steady as we go. Beautiful song. Typical situation. Banger. Drive in, drive out. Deep cut banger. Dancing Nancy's. Amazing. Ants marching. The song you think about when you think about D&B. And then they go to the encore. And then they go to the encore, and they had smoke. They had smoke. They were ready.
Let's go.
This is the best, in my personal opinion, and I was at SPAC weekend. This is the best encore of the year. You start off with the number 34, and there's drones flying. And I'm watching this again. Shout out to Matt Hughes. Number 34 starts. It's liberated. It's played in full. Buddy and Jeff are magic on this song. The piano, the soft touch of the piano. We haven't had a piano on this thing since Butch was playing with the band. And we have Jeff Coffin. Amazing. This is the best E1 of the year by far. So right after that, a great high energy song to get the momentum going. What do I say? The everyday songs, some of these everyday songs really fit the current band the best. We got Fool to Think the other night. So right, What You Are, If I Had It All. These are songs that really fit this band. So right comes on. Amazing. And to me, now some people are going to say there's other songs they would have rather had here. This song, let me go back to my face during What You Are. Let me show you guys what my face was looking like during What You Are. This, they could have not, like this. Now, obviously, Last Stop here. Sure. There's songs you can argue. But this song, to me, is my favorite high energy, dark D&B song that there is. Even over the Last Stop. Now, again, I know most people are going to say Last Stop. And some of this is just I talk data, but emotionally, this song, I have ran to this song on cold winter mornings up a steep hill for hill training. This song has is composed amazing. It's composed so well. Its lyrics hit more in depth to an idea than Halloween does. Halloween is more about the anger and frustration. And I know CD says should have been the Last Stop. Here's the other thing. If it was the Last Stop, they're not going to play the full version, right? The thing with the Last Stop is they're playing. Listen, I got it twice. They're truncating it. That outro, the Last Stop without the outro is not better than What You Are. Now, the Last Stop with the outro, which I doubt they're going to be playing anytime soon, because that's just how Dave is right now. That it's a whole different thing. And listen, it's still great. I got it at MSG last year, got it at the Gorge 2019. But for me personally, What You Are is powerful. The lyrics really, it's just such an intense song. And Dave, mother bleeper, you don't play God. That thing he improvs at the end, right? This is the ultimate way to end this weekend realistically. Again, we're not getting a last stop with the outro, extended outro. And Matt, oh, there's Matt. Matt's here. Matt says, "Line our grades, blessed post Boyd." I've heard. What I want to do now. Okay, let me just let him know. Call now from. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna get on the line Andy Mendoza. He shot the video you guys saw. Check out his YouTube page right here, Andy Mendoza. He's got a lot of great videos from the last couple of years, specifically when he has these 4K videos. I mean, these things are better than what the band puts together. Obviously, they have more cameras, but listen, he's got some awesome things here. So let's call him right now, and we're gonna add him. Let me know if you guys can hear him okay. I'm gonna mute the audio effects on my computer so there's no echo. Let me know if there is an echo though. Let me know if you get an echo.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. How you doing, Andy?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you very much. How's the audio? Can you hear me okay this time?
Oh, we can hear you perfectly.
Great.
And so we're talking about Gorge Night 3. We just saw your video, the Watchtower video on your page. And thank you for that. That thing was, that was a great shot.
Absolutely amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. And to hear that, from your phone and to see the crystal clear energy that was on stage in the pit, that was great. But let's talk about tonight. What did you think about tonight's show?
Oh, so I walked out of last night just mind blown and thinking, I'd be completely content if there was nothing else happening this weekend because last night's show was amazing. How are they going to top that? And then tonight happens. The highlight, you had to be there. I don't know if you've been on social media yet or seen the posts, but the encore just was amazing. I got my very first 34, so unashamedly I was in the pit in the front recording, and I was crying. And little to my knowledge, I didn't know. Friends were showing me as I was leaving, they had a drone show going on in the background above the stage. That 500, 600 drones flying around and doing these things in the sky. And during 34, they had the fire dancer go up, and they had Leroy and the Grugrex King, and it was just absolutely magical. It was amazing. And then they come out with So Right and What You Are, which came out of left field, because I remember when they closed the set with Ants, I was thinking to myself, what are they going to close with? They already did Ants. They already did Rapunzel. They already did Watchtower last night. I was going through my old normal closers, and I had no idea So Right and What You Are was coming down the turnpike. It's just, I walking out of here on a cloud nine. It was just an absolutely phenomenal weekend. There's really no way else to describe it.
Yeah, and before you came, we called you. Matt Hughes, he's in the chat right now. He actually Facebook called me so I could watch the encore. I caught that, and I caught Drive In, Drive Out, Nancy's and Ants. He was in the pit too. He was in the side.
Awesome.
Very close as well. And my jaw was on the floor during the whole encore. So and then like you said, the pictures are already on social media. The fire dancer, the Grugrex King, and that saxophone and piano combo. It just it touched my soul for Buddy to be there for the first time on a 34, and then Jeff really got a moment where, hey, I can play in the spirit of Leroy Moore. There's no other people except that are really playing over me. Like that really was amazing.
He, of course, you can never replace Leroy,
Right.
but he is definitely worthy. And tonight, to hear him play that, it was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I was accepted the fact that I'd probably never hear that ever. And when they started playing it, I was thinking to myself, no way, this is not happening. I was like, no, it's a tease. It's a tease. And he just kept going. And it finally settled in. I'm getting 34, and I'm literally crying. And just sitting there listening to Jeff, and I had no idea what was going on above me. I couldn't see it from the front. I watched, like I mentioned a moment ago, I watched a couple of videos from friends and from the lawn, and you can see and you can hear in their recordings, the lawn is going absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously all the hands are, it's loud. But in that moment, when I was in the pit on the front, I didn't hear a single thing. It was just Jeff. And I had no idea that was going on. That's how amazing it was. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get that video. It's going to be a few days. I still have to travel home. Mm-hmm. That whole show I recorded. These shows, they save on my phone. They're well over 80 gigs. It's going to take a long time to get the whole thing up on the YouTube, a few days at least. But I can't wait for everyone to see that and experience that from the front. Obviously, yeah, I didn't get the drones or anything, but it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I would say, I'm sure Copper Prize, I don't know if Copper Prize reached out to you, but he has the pictures of the fire dancers, so I'm sure he's going to do a multi-cam.
Yeah, he will. We have spoken a few times, and I've given him permission. He knows, and a lot of his video, he's very gracious, and he credits me. And I told him, anything you see from my videos you need, you just take it. Mm-hmm. It's for the greater good. So he knows. Yeah. So once it's up there, I'm sure he's going to put some amazing masterpiece together with 34 and the drones and everyone's viewpoint. And I can't wait for him to put something together on that too.
Yeah. And thank you for capturing those things as well, because I think it's like you said, it's just like you said, you're in the moment, you get emotional, you only hear, like you're in a zone where you only hear Jeff or you only hear Dave, and that was me last year. What You Are, I finally got it last year at MSG. I look at the video, like I recorded myself reacting to it, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't even saying the lyrics right. But that's why we go to these shows. So I'm glad that you were able to get that moment throughout this entire encore.
You said it right there. That's why we go. And there's those of us, I'm traveling with a group of buddies. A friend of mine, I've been friends for years, and we've gone to a few shows. And we brought his brothers along. One of them has only gone through 4 shows. This was his 4th show, and I told him, wow. I'm excited for you, but I'm also kind of sorry because I don't know what you're going to compare this to
right
on the rest of your journeys. But, all these songs, they connect with everybody in their own way. And, I have family, and they know I'm obsessed. And they say, why would you go see the same band 3 nights in a row? And I just say, I'm not seeing the same band 3 nights in a row. You just don't understand. It's not. Right. And each song hits on an emotional chord just differently. And you go for those highs. And like last night for me was that Watchtower was absolutely amazing. Tonight it's definitely 34. Oh, I completely forgot. Joe Lawler came out. And he absolutely just shredded on Cornbread, just shredded. And it's normally what Rhyme and Reason. That's what I was expecting. And Cornbread is great. It's okay. I like hearing it, but when it starts, I'm never like overjoyed. It's just like, all right, cool, Cornbread. But this one was absolutely amazing. I was just blown away. And Joe Lawler, the expressions on his face, you could tell he's just out there having a blast, and he was so into it. He's in front of the pit all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It just added even more emotion. It was an absolute amazing version of Cornbridge. I can't wait for everyone to see that either. I mean, there was just so many highlights of this weekend. It's hard to put into words. I feel like I'm not doing any justice at all.
Yeah, and I went to Deer Creek, and I'm the same way, Cornbread, because I'm cool. Okay. Like I know people get rowdy. It gets the crowd going. So I'm not going to be like, but I'm not. It's not one of my favorites. But in Deer Creek, now Jeff was not there. I mean, not Jeff. Tim was not there.
Mm-hmm.
But when he came on with that Stevie Ray Vaughan blues rock guitar without the slide, so he's not. I don't like Tim's. Tim's slide I like in certain spots. I'm like, for that solo, I'm like, I don't need the slide. But when Joe Lawler comes out there and he has that blues rock, and he does that, it changes the dynamic of Cornbread to the point where I am a believer of that version with Lawler playing his, Strat with his blues rock sound. I like that, and it changes the whole dynamic of the song.
Absolutely agree. It was great.
And I wanted to ask you, I saw this in the comments. I didn't see this. This was one I didn't get, like someone live didn't connect with me, but Rapunzel, I heard that there was a little bit of a kind of a extended outro because Dave missed a cue. Do you kind of recount that?
I did notice that. It almost sounded like he misstepped on some lyrics. And they did change it up at the end. I'm not entirely sure what it was that was played, but it was definitely a little different. Okay. And I double checked actually because I'm there filming.
Right.
And I remember when it finished, like I'd never heard Rapunzel like that before. It was great. I liked it. And 10 minutes later, I pulled out my other phone because I have another phone, and I'm on the Wi-Fi. And I remember I was just grooving. I didn't really have to worry about steadying anything because it was during Walk Around the Moon. So it was just like really groove, slow song. So I pulled out my phone and I pulled up Almanac just to see if they made any notes on Rapunzel, specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything noted. So I was like, all right, well, maybe I'm just imagining things. So it's great to know that I wasn't just imagining things.
Right.
That something was different. And I'll have to go back and listen to that on the video and see if I can pick up on it again. Because it was all in the moment.
Right.
And I'm just going off of what I remember. And my memory is a little blurred right now with what I just experienced on the encore.
Right. Yeah. That's understandable. And yeah, that happens all the time. I remember being at Farm Aid last year, and there was Dave did the bridge of Gray Street. He did the third verse of Gray Street, and then he did the bridge of Gray Street again.
Wow.
So I had to I came home, I did this stream, and I pulled up the Farm Aid thing, and there's a video of me. I'm going nuts because I'm like, I swear it was a bridge sandwich on the third verse. And I'm playing it back as I'm live on the air, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that did happen. So that happens all the time. And I think we had an interview with the Almanac Thursday. A lot of times they won't make a call on the notes unless the Facebook, the couch tour had, like, you can clearly tell, like, if Dave yells out something in a scat in Ants Marching, like, they'll put it down. But if they don't know for sure, these notes will probably be updated within the next couple of days once they hear and kind of check off, all right, chorus, bridge, whatever it is. So that happens. It sometimes Dave does some stuff, and you have to check the replay. So,
and it was neat. And I always love Rapunzel at the beginning or in the middle of a set list. It is great because it was a great song to get the crowd going because they opened a little slow, which was great. Because Proudest Monkey, you can never go wrong with that. Satellite, and then they go ahead and open. And then I thought Rapunzel, PNP and Rapunzel following that was a great way to get the crowd going. Perfect slot placement for it, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about before you came on. Is it was a slow, it seemed like a slow start, kind of checking in on the various videos. But I think this band nowadays, you're gonna get a certain part of the show. We were talking about like the Boston Celtics when the big three. I saw, at the end of their career, they would focus in on certain parts of the game. Serena Williams just finished her career,
Mhm.
and before she got eliminated, there's parts of her performance that in a tennis match, a couple of games, she'll just go win 4 straight games or sets. And then she kind of has to calm down, and then she goes out again. And I feel like DMB, you're still going to get a good show regardless, but there's certain, like, it's not just straight up the encore is going to be like tonight every night.
No.
Sometimes the middle has the best part of the shows in the middle. Sometimes your first 4 songs are arguably the best parts, and sometimes, like tonight, I think Steady as We Go to the end was like, just that's going to be your highlight regardless of
Oh
what you like.
yes.
And it's like, this is the new D&B. You can really never know what the best part of the show is going to be until you just go through the full thing.
The Steady as You Go was a beautiful rendition, and I think what you're describing is what I was telling another friend of mine on the way out. Was tonight's show, it was like a roller coaster.
Mhm.
It started off low and you got high and you came down low again, but it wasn't really low. It was just like it was grooving and you were still moving, and then you were back up and then you were down. Because after Rapunzel was Do You Remember, and then You Might Die Trying, and then you're grooving with Walk Around the Moon, and then It's Your Own Thing was always fun. Then you got Lie in Your Graves, and then you're grooving with Again and Again. So, and then you're up again. And then Lover Lay Down, which Jeff was amazing on again as well.
Yeah.
It was an amazing flow, just up and down, up and down. You're just along for the ride. And then to close it off with that encore, you just walk out of there with your mind blown. It was amazing. It was a great set list that Dave put together tonight. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I have a meme that I'm going to be sharing later in the show, but it's interesting because no one could have conceptualized this set list for tonight.
It's a dream one.
It's because you think, oh, they're gonna play the Stone. Oh, they're gonna probably play. Maybe they play Shotgun. Maybe they don't. But if they don't play Shotgun, you still have Pig. Pig was not played. So I think what makes DMB interesting in 2022. I was at SPAC. I saw it there. Alpine. I saw it there. You think certain things are almost a lock because they have been in the past, but some things aren't played at SPAC and Alpine, but then you get to pay for what you get at SPAC.
Yeah.
And I was at the Fool in the Rain for Alpine. Nobody could. Now, some people, Dave and Friends played it. Yukon Cornelius played, but like nobody could have said, oh, I'm going to walk into the show and say Fool in the Rain is the next cover the band's going to play. So there's so many things this year that you can't really predict, but if you just get, like you said, you get on the roller coaster, you're gonna, like, same thing with, I felt that SPAC night too. I'm like, oh, Bartender. Then it just kind of goes a little bit down and it goes back up. If you get on the ride this year, you're gonna have a great experience. And you're not gonna know when things are gonna happen.
No, you just have to go and enjoy it in the moment. And it's a cliche, and it's a cliche for a reason, but you have to be there. And yes, of course, the videos are great. My videos, I love that everyone enjoys them. I do it for that reason, and I do it so I can enjoy them. I play them out all the time at the house. My wife is so annoyed with it, but they're great, but it will never encapsulate every piece of emotion of actually physically being there. So if you have the opportunity, the most minuscule opportunity to make a day trip happen, just go and make it work, because you will never walk out of a show going, gosh, that was terrible, or not what I expected. It's just, you get shows like these that will make lifelong memories. And you can't replace that. You can't put a quantifier on that. You just can't.
Right. Absolutely. Well, hey, Andy, want to thank you. We're definitely going to stay in contact, even if you're not on the show, because I love what you do here on YouTube. I don't know if you know, but I shoot some videos myself when I have chances or if I have a good view. So we'll definitely have to talk that on a future stream. But thank you so much for being on, and safe travels back home. And we're going to be waiting, just like people wait for the Game of Thrones, or they wait for Stranger Things. We're going to be waiting for your videos to come up, and we'll definitely enjoy them.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And yes, anytime you would like to talk about anything, let me know. I'm always happy to talk, Dave.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. So that was the cleanest interview of the weekend. And so, lesson learned, we're going to definitely have people call in for the Gorge. Obviously, the last 2 years that they had played there, I was there. Wow, yeah, that's a great interview. I think I started, like, I felt like I was at a show, like, yeah, what? That's awesome, dude. Like, but this is a oops, I have my other tab open here. But I think the end of this show really it really makes you okay, that's why we got all this other stuff. That's why we got Satellite early, and Do You Remember, and Yummy Thing was at the 12 spot. Because when the first 5 songs were hitting, I'm like, all right, I hope Dave is saving something for later. Then we got to Jimmy Thing. I'm like, okay, we only have a couple of songs left. And then Cornbread, I'm like, oh, Cornbread, really? I didn't realize Lawler was there. That video, I think I was watching Steven, and either Steven cut off or I cut off his stream. Because I'm like, oh, it's Cornbread. Oh. And I didn't see Lawler on stage. If I did, I probably would have tried to find someone else. But the Steady As We Go, typical drive in, drive out, Nancy's Ants, 34 is so right what you are. I mean, that's the run of the Gorge, and you could argue one of the best runs of the year. Just a lot of real dope things there. And Pee Wee Herman's right. I would love to hear the tape or audio. That'll probably come out first, because he's got, like, to get those videos uploaded, he does his little title things. And Matt makes a good point, and this has happened. Listen, I'll tell you, many of you guys have probably experienced this yourself, especially if you guys been 20, 30 years on the road with this band. Some of you day one and late 90s and early 2000s and mid 2000 fans. I remember Pig last year in 2021 or 20, was it 2021 or 2019? It was 2019. I think it was. Yeah, 2019. At Mansfield, Dave messed up Pig, but it ended up being this real cool thing. When the band, and that's actually just like going back to that Boston Celtics analogy, because the Celtics had such a bad first 3 quarters, it was entertaining, even though I root against Boston sports teams. But at that time, I was just a neutral fan trying to be entertained. But to see the Celtics overcome like a 20-point lead was entertaining. And that's what Dave does when he makes a mistake, when Carter makes a mistake, which is rare. I think Carter, for that Pig one, it was actually Carter that threw Dave off. But they actually just turned it into this real cool thing. And I've seen that a couple of times where Dave will mess up lyrics, but then it turns into this cool thing, or it's an extra jam. Like that, I actually, my biggest concern with Dave Matthews Band is when they come and everything seems too rehearsed. Meaning they're just kind of going through the motions, they're not taking any risk. When Dave messes up, you never know. Last year, night 3 at the Gorge, when he's playing at Dave solo, and then he comes back and absolutely just lights out. AAA 5 stars of a performance. So he messed up the timing on it, and then all of a sudden he stops, he starts up again, restarts the song, and just slays it. It was a Dave solo, you never know. Like those are the moments where you really see how great they are. Just like in the times of your life when you face adversity, you truly know who your friends are. And there's sometimes you face adversity and you're like, wow, this person's really on my side. This person I thought who was a distant friend really held me down more than my tightest friends. And some of my tightest friends left me and they abandoned me because of something I went through. So it is great when they have moments like the PNP Rapunzel tonight. And I look forward to hearing exactly how it pulled out. Stupid Almanac says Trainwreck 2 days after Henry Hart summoned the Jinx. No, I mean I thought this was I thought this was again, it's not how you, in this case it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Sometimes it's not how you finish, it's how you end the main set. Sometimes it's how you start out the gate. I think, and the one thing and Matt Hughes said this. Matt message, we were talking on his, Facebook. This band, no matter if you like a song or don't like it, this band is really on point with their performances. Even the songs you don't like Do You Remember is a song that I'm not a big, like I actually like the studio version of it, but the live version, I'm like, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll grab something. But you know what I can't deny? When I'm walking to the bathroom, when I'm grabbing something else, it sounds amazing. It actually, Do You Remember, has that acoustic percussive greatness that the band had and doesn't really have as much anymore, as they're like a wall of sound. And they always nail Do You Remember. And Dave actually has those like little slides that he's using his hands. He's more hands-on with some of the sounds that come out of Do You Remember on the acoustic. Just like Black and Bluebird is the same way. It's just an awesome acoustic percussive song. So I like when the band's pushing and they sometimes make a mistake and they recover from it. It's better than the status quo. Sometimes one of Dave's biggest flaws is he's afraid to be raw and honest and vulnerable. Some of the stuff from Come Tomorrow is too perfect. There's no adversity or struggle or grit to it. Now Here on Out is a beautiful song, but when I think of other songs like She, I'm not a fan of She. Come Tomorrow is too cheesy. There was no risk in that song. It's not a good song, in my opinion. So I love when Dave is vulnerable, like A Dream So Real, Shotgun, those type of stuff. When he's vulnerable, and that's in the actual songwriting, or when he's vulnerable and he makes a mistake lyrically or musically and recovers from it, it's actually, like I said, better. Just like any favorite sports moment, right? When your team actually is down by 5 runs or down by 3 touchdowns and that team comes back, it makes it better. Their mistakes create a comeback that makes the game one of the greatest games of all time. Because who doesn't love a comeback, right? So, listen, I know Jeff is on. Andy kind of gave us everything we needed to hear as someone from there. And I think that's the thing, is these songs hit us. There's nothing wrong if you shed a tear to a song or you really feel a song emotionally. The thing about D&B is some of these moments you could never guess they were going to bring it back. And Fish and other jam bands have it, but most jam bands, they're going to bust out and play a bunch of different things, and they intentionally every night will have something that's unique. You go to a major tour stop for Fish or for Widespread Panic, they're going to do something on purpose. They know it's been X amount of days since they played this. But with D&B, Dave does not. Now, sometimes he does. They're like, hey, we're going to bring back number 34 tonight. Like, right? He knows that. But he may not know this is the first time this song has been played like in this part of the country for X amount of, like, sometimes he does, but he really just kind of plays. He'll have some stuff that's liberated, but he really plays from his heart and how he feels. And a lot of times he doesn't feel like playing certain songs. So when he actually plays a song that he typically doesn't feel like playing, or there's some sort of thing why they don't play it anymore, and then they play a number 34. They play a Broken Things for the first time in almost a decade last year in Columbus and in Mohegan Sun. when they play a last stop. Now, even though it is truncated and it's shorter, but like it's still a special moment. So a pay for what you get, right? That song had went away for some time and it was liberated. So it is it's when you like, to me, there's no other band when you get a song that you've been waiting for forever. There's no other feeling like getting a DMB song you've been chasing. And I follow other bands, right? And sometimes I've gotten songs from Humphreys McGee or John Mayer that I've been chasing forever. I remember the Walk Grace, but there's nothing like a What You Are moment at Mohegan's Madison Square Garden, or a Broken Things moment at Mohegan Sun last year. Those were two of the highlights of the tour for me last year, were those moments where I got my first dive in and I got my second Broken Things, and then I got my first What You Are at MSG, which to me, that was the number one moment of last year for me personally. I like the Stone better than What You Are, and I got the Stone last year. I got a Stone opener, but What You Are was that song I was chasing. Oh yeah. Oh, and we gotta point this out. There was no You and Me this entire Gorge weekend. That is awesome. No You and Me the entire weekend. And there was limited Big Whiskey, and I actually like that. I know You and Me is a special song, people, but hey, man, look, when you shut certain stuff down, you open doors for other things. Even songs that I really wish people got, like Shotgun and Break For It. Those things were closed, but what do you get? You get a 34 So What You Are. You get a Lion, you get a Drunken Soldier, and you get the Riff, right? And if you like If Only, you got If Only Last Night. I'm not a really big fan of If Only Live. I will say there's certain songs that the band should try to set. Maybe they have tried to do it. There are certain songs the band should really try to sell to a movie. Like If Only is a great song for a rom-com. Ehe 2.0, I could definitely, now that's Antonio Sanchez, but Dave has some of his credits, right? But they got to put that in a movie. There's certain songs, You and Me would actually be good in a certain type of movie setting, even though I don't like it, you know. I think it's one of the cheesier love songs that Dave has made. I love I'll Back You Up. I love Here On Out. Those are pieces of art. I'll Back You Up. Here On Out. Loving Wings is great as well. It's just awesome. Oh, so let's we got to bring up some breaking news here. So this is the story. I could not go without this. Let me show you guys this here. This is breaking news. Pig, the Stone, and Shotgun go undrafted in the 2022 Gorge Run.
No.
So this is the big. I thought this was funny. You got Stone Cold Steve Austin there because there's no Stone. You got a Shotgun and it's crossed out. And look at that little pig. Oh, that poor little pig. Listen, it still was a great weekend, but I just thought it was. I could not help but make this a reality. Again, lots of great songs, lots of great moments. Everyone who I saw there tweeting and all this, the Instagramming and Facebooking and book facing and Facebook and gramming, they had a great time. But hey, these three songs. This is why I tell you, you cannot go into the Gorge expecting certain songs. Because listen, you could say for a one night show, a Tuesday show, you can be like, "Oh, I want this song." When it doesn't come, you're like, "All right, it was only one. It was only one song." You can go into a 2-night stand and maybe they don't play it. It is what it is. When you go into a 3-night stand, you're like, oh, they gotta play Shotgun. They gotta play Pig. I gotta hear the Stone. And they don't happen. It's just that's how it is. There were so many songs this band plays. And in these weekends, there's ups and downs, there's ebb and flows, and they spread out certain things. So if you're looking for deep cuts, they're spread out. Even the hits that Dave does is spread out. They didn't play Crash Into Me this entire run. So if you have a fan who loved D&B in the mid 90s, they were more into the hit songs, and they're like going to the Gorge with somebody, and they're like, oh, I want Crash Into Me. Well, guess what? You didn't get it. Actually, your first show, you didn't get Crash. The second show, you didn't get anything from Under the Table and Dreaming. So you can't guarantee anything. You can, as they say, expect the unexpected for these the 2022 shows. And that's what makes these shows great. How long did this take me? It took me about 5 minutes to make this little graphic. It took me about 5 minutes. Let me X out of it though. I'm gonna save my don't drink the water. I got a don't drink the water thesis here for beats per minute. I don't want to do it tonight. I know I said I was gonna do it, but I don't want to do it. Going back to these are some of the photos. Copper Pot. I think either he may have taken these or he got it from someone else with permission. But this is the Grugrux King right here. This is listen. This is one of the high. I think one of the wins of this tour, this Gorge weekend, is these drones. Like, have you ever seen? Maybe there's like videos of this stuff happening, but I've never seen this at a concert. Maybe there's been a festival, Lollapalooza, or Coachella. This is awesome. This is almost better than anything Fish did light-wise this weekend. To have a bunch of drones up in the air. Grugrux King. I don't even know how I would love to see a behind the scenes of how they have these I'm sure there's computers running these. Look at that. Those are drones. It's amazing. It's amazing. That is just amazing. I cannot say enough about how awesome that is. Yeah, so there we go. This is the Gorge weekend. We got some awesome shows. I looked back at last year, right? Last year you had some special things as far as uniquely Carter and Stefan are not there. But I was looking back at the sets last year, and I was looking at night 3 last year. And, you know, I think that if you did not make it this year and you went last year, I don't think you have anything to hang your head about. Obviously, great. Obviously, this was a phenomenal Gorge weekend. But if we look back at the sets from last year, they were special in their own right. And we can even oops. Right? If we look back and we go to 2021, these were really, really cool shows. And we got Dave again, that you never know. Like, we look back at the first night, right? We get a Gray Street opener, and like a couple hours before this, I thought I was going to be sitting in my hotel for a weekend with no music. We get a Dave solo Gray Street, his Rock Bridge guitar shining through so great, right? We got that Dave and Tim Bartender. We got that Virginia in the Rain. That almost brought me to tears. I think I may have told you guys, my grandma's cousin, he's my cousin through that, but my grandma's cousin, you know, he had passed away in 2020, and he lived in Virginia. My dad was born in Virginia. And that year in 2021, I went to go visit his grave site. He was in the Navy, so it was a military or it was a veteran cemetery. And I was there, and the day I went to his grave site, it rained. Now this is in 2021, because during the pandemic, I couldn't even go to his funeral, nor could my grandmother. That was, that was her cousin. So anyway, Virginia in the Rain had me almost in tears because of that. This was a great night one. Hey, Michael, I hope all is well. Michael is, I believe you're a fire chief, right? And you had an awesome, it looks like was it a firefighters fair? I saw you on Facebook, but hope all is well out there in New Jersey. Good morning. Have to run, heading out to the airport. Yes, Michael, and we'll have to catch up with you, Michael. So we'll have to catch up with you and John Woodbury for the Fiddler shows. And as well, Connor will be there. If you see Connor in the chat, Connor will be there as well. Connor Frizzell. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but Connor F will be there. I really think that Fiddlers will have another set of gem nights. They have sold well. They are the best selling percentage-wise venue in the West Coast. Even better, I think they're going to sell better than the Hollywood Bowl, which is struggling to sell out. Fiddlers is the best percentage-wise. The percentage of tickets you can buy for Fiddlers, they are the best performing West Coast venue. Safe travels out there, Michael. But looking back at the Gorge night one, so we have this awesome show. Tony Hall pops in. We have a Dancing Nancy's Dave and Tim encore closer, right? Night two, we have a BOA opener, just Dave solo. Mercy comes back, Dave solo, which to me is what is better than Mercy is better, Dave solo. I think of he did one of those telethons or fundraisers for a cause, and it was just earth shattering. We got a Watchtower Dave and Tim last year. So some great back-to-back Watchtowers last year, Dave and Tim this year with Celeste. We got a Stone. Oh, we had a Dave and Tim Stone last year. The Come Together cover. I Want to Take You Higher cover. There's a bunch. Obviously, they were doing a lot of covers there. And then the last night, Taking Me to Tomorrow, Jane, here on out. You never know. Again, it was aborted, then it was played. Minarets, Old Dirt Hill, Christmas song in the middle of nowhere. Who could have predicted that? Christmas song is going to be played in September. Ocean and the Butterfly. I thought that was an amazing performance. I know Derek from Twitter loves that song. I really love Ocean and the Butterfly myself. The 20s Pig to 27. We got a Jimmy thing closer, but it was just Dave and Tim. No horns, no other stuff. Just Dave and Tim. And a Superstition cover. Robert Redford. I can tell I'm tired, right? I'm yawning. So some great things there. And I kind of was spot on. I'm going to take a video. I was kind of spot on last night. I hear some static here. Let me make sure. Oh, let me call. Oh, Jeff just called. Let's get Jeff on. Let's get Jeff on. All right, we're gonna get Jeff on here.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey, Jeff. I just saw you were calling. I forgot. I turned my phone on silent. Give me 1 second here.
So Was Susie in the pit with them today too?
All right. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on?
All right. So you are live on the air. Tell us about this show.
So it started out a little slow with Monkey and the Satellite, but I guess from the shows I've seen, I had more songs that I'd either never had live or had only had live maybe once before. So for me, it was a great show, even though they're not maybe my favorite songs that were played tonight. But I got some songs I had never had, 34 being one of them. So it was nice. I just thought it was a nice way to end the weekend. It was 3 days of unbelievable musicianship, and I think tonight was a big jam session, really from start to finish. It seemed like most of the songs had some jam session associated with them at the end.
Gotcha. So jam heavy. And so it started off slow. And that's what, from home, I got some people were sharing videos, like they were calling me on Facebook video and Instagram live. I saw some stuff and I saw it start out. What was going through your mind as you get about 10 songs in and there's not really any sort of like breakthrough? I mean, we had Lie in Our Graves, but outside of Lie in Our Graves, the first 10 songs, there's no like, oh my gosh, this song is, it's not like number 34 had been played, So Right had been played, Drive In, Drive Out. What was going through your mind when you're like halfway through this show and it's kind of like starting off slow?
So I don't want to say I felt like they were maybe mailing it in that they were tired, because that wasn't the case. I mean, the energy was still there, but I was kind of thought, all right, is this going to be a very vanilla kind of night 3? Had to keep reminding myself I had 2 days of amazing shows, and to expect 3 days of amazing shows was maybe asking too much. But I think it was when they brought Joe out.
Okay.
Really thought it was going to be Rhyme and Reason. And do the Cornbread. I felt like his presence just kind of, that's probably the point in the show where I felt like it finally started a little more excitement. It just, even though it wasn't the song I was hoping for, but it was fun having Joe on the stage, and he absolutely killed it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I got that at Deer Creek, that Cornbread. And to me, I think his soloing on Cornbread makes the song completely different in a good way. Because I agree. I don't like this. Like, I love Tim and he's great with his slide, but the slide stuff on Cornbread just kind of, I'm not a huge fan of it, where just having a different perspective, just like last night with Celeste on Watchtower, just having a different perspective on it. That was one of the highlights of Deer Creek, was how Cornbread proved me wrong and said, hey, you're going to like this song,
Yeah, it's one I enjoy, because I feel like Buddy, again, a huge Buddy fan. So anytime Buddy gets to shine, I'm always for. But yeah, this Cornbread, different vibe to it. That to me was really kind of the turning point of the show. But it's funny, I'm obviously here with Michelle, my wife, and she kind of looked at me at one point and was like, all right, just kind of, we're going to play I don't call them the vanilla songs, but maybe the songs everybody expects to hear, and that was going to be that whole night. So I think once we got off of that a little bit, again, it's 3 great nights of music. Right. Ranking them, I love night 1. I felt like the energy night 1 was great. We were on night 2, so it's a different experience, right? It's chill, but I felt like the set was a great set for the lawn last night. And then tonight, if you were there to see jam sessions, you got it tonight. You got a lot of fun little different twists on some songs, and I need to just pull it back up the show because there were a few moments where I was like that was fun, but I thought they might break into something else.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it was a good show. I was secretly hoping for the 3-song closer to In with Time Bomb because I'll still forever be chasing that as a full song.
Right. I know that's your favorite, and I know you haven't gotten it, but you got eras, you got your Phoenix shows. And I do want to point out, going to the Gorge, I know you guys are regulars being in Phoenix. When you go to something like the Gorge, or when you go to any major venue, for anyone who hasn't been to them, when you get the high of such a great show, when you go into a show like tonight, when they start off slow and you're like, oh wow, last night was great, it's like trying to catch a high every night.
100%.
And
100%.
And I will say, some fans, and listen, the people have different ways they process this band, but some fans, no matter what, they will always, like, doesn't matter what the band plays, they will always feel great. But when you have a certain feeling, when certain songs, like, you get certain songs that you really were chasing, when it happens one night and then you have a second night of the Gorge, like, oh, this night's great too, and Celeste comes on for Watchtower, your body is expecting to get the same exact predictable, like that same, all right, for this part of the set, you're going to get this high energy. For that part of the set, it slows down. This part of the set is going to go like this. And tonight's show is like almost opposite of last night as far as how it flowed, because you had, last night, going back, you had One Sweet World, You Never Know, Fool to Think, Can't Stop, Joyride in the first 5 songs. I mean, you couldn't leave your seat. You couldn't even just relax for a second. So you guys get conditioned for that last night, and then tonight it starts slow. So I think I just want the viewers to know, as Jeff is talking to us, that, like, this is, if you've never been to the Gorge, or you've never been to like a huge run of shows, and maybe you only have one show a year, and that show you just enjoy it. When you start going to 3, 4, 5, 6 shows in a year, your body is trying to chase the same feeling you got that first show or the third show that really stood out. So I just wanted to explain that, because I think some people may say, oh, you're not grateful for this. Oh, be grateful the band. I'd have them play the phone book. So I just wanted to kind of say that.
I think that's exactly right. That's where I came into tonight, that I wasn't expecting anything outwardly. I mean, obviously inside you're hoping they play all of your favorite songs that they haven't played yet. But I agree with you. I think that's where we kind of came into tonight, was play whatever the hell you want to play. It's been good for 2 nights. Just do you. And it was fantastic. It's 3 days of great music, great people. That's the thing I think is really, for anybody who is listening to this, the shows are amazing, and they are, but it's the people you meet through the D&B family. We're staying in Oasis, but we spend half of our time in Gold with friends that are in Gold. Mm-hmm. That's what really this weekend is about.
Absolutely. And then you find that you have friends, they meet people that they've met at a show by off chance. They were sitting next to each other, and then they exchange contact information, and then you become friends with these people that are friends of friends. And before you know it, I mean, I know I met you at Mansfield for the first time, you and Michelle. Before you know it, there's 50, 60 people at a show. And you're like, wow, I know more people at DMB shows than I know in my own town, or my own network at work. And it's like, wow, this is an awesome community of people that you can just immediately connect with, and really just, you may see them halfway across the country and you link up again. So I think that's what's great about the Gorge is I saw so many people this weekend on social media that I knew, and then they met people that I also knew, and then they were with other people that I also knew by the third night, and that's what makes that's the trip. The shows are kind of, you know, you when you're at the show, you're like, don't play this, or oh, I want this, I'm hoping for time, I'm hoping for this. But the best part of the Gorge is the camaraderie, like you said. I was in gold camping this time last weekend. I mean last year, this weekend. I was at gold camping for 4 hours, or no, about 2.5, 3 hours. And then I drove right to the airport. So I didn't even have a hotel last year for Sunday night. I just stayed at a gold camping, chill, took a quick cat nap, and drove to the airport at like 4 in the morning. So
that's nuts. Yeah, so we just got over to D&D Brianna, Carter Beaufort fans, Penny Lane. So we made it over to their campground, and yeah, they were all in the pit tonight. So they definitely had a great experience in the pit. So it's just, and we're now back in everybody's. Oh my God, what did you think? What was your view? What was this? So everything you're doing on this show is exactly what I would say the majority of the people here are now doing back at their campsites, is running through the set list and what was their highlight of the night. And yeah, that's the fun of this. Yeah. And then going through the hub and seeing, oh, when was the last time I saw this or heard this? Yeah. I think I completed Before These Crowded Streets tonight.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so it's I'm one song away on several of the albums. So tonight we finally closed one down. And of all things, it was the Tanta into Rapunzel. I'd never had that. I've only had Rapunzel.
Really?
Yeah, there's just some weird shows, I guess, that I've been to over years where they haven't flowed like they normally do. 34 was the first, which, I mean, they don't play that very often. So I think that filled out another one of my albums tonight too. So I have to go back and look, but I may have closed 2 albums out, 1 or 2 tonight.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, tell Brianna I say hi. I know she is awesome. She's doing the song challenges. I know she's the closest. This is her home turf. You know, she's out in Seattle. So
yes, this is her happy place, and thank God I got to spend the first 2 shows with her and experience her joy of seeing the band. And yeah, it's been amazing. This is going to probably be the last year I come up here for a while, though. I love camping to a point. I love seeing all the people, but it's a commitment. Even though we're on the West Coast, it's still a commitment. And I think I'm going to save my funds. Michelle will still come every year, but for Europe. So I think that'll be the next big chase. Will be a 5 or 6 city Euro trip.
Yes, and I've heard great things. I've heard one of the cool things about Europe is the way that the Europeans take in DMB, as far as they're quiet during the whole song, then they clap. People I know that have been out there, they said it really changes your perspective on how you can enjoy a show. So
I believe it. I believe it. It's the venues too. It's the Michelle and I were in Italy this last year, and we took a little quick trip over to Lucca to see where DMB performed in Lucca, Italy, and it was insane because it was the town center inside a medieval castle wall fortresses. Wow. And to think that that's the type of venues you're going to get in Italy, whether it's Bologna, Lucca, whatever. That's the cool part for me.
Yeah, and they're intimate. They're sometimes just like a theater, like your local, where you see your local version of Rent. Yeah. Like it's very intimate. You could be on top of the crowd. There's not as many people there's people that travel, but not everyone is crazy yelling and talking from what I hear during the show, which obviously it can be a problem.
And I thought it was better this year. So Mexico, I thought it was terrible. It's the worst I'd ever been around. And honestly, this year I felt, especially in the pit and in reserve, I felt like everybody was genuinely there for the music. There really wasn't any talking.
That's awesome.
This year. So it did make the whole experience, I think, that much more enjoyable because I wasn't listening to somebody's conversation while I'm listening to Buddy or somebody else jamming out. I got to enjoy the music.
That's awesome. And I was talking to someone on Twitter about that. They said it was, like it was just, it felt like a better vibe. So thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on. Wish you guys...
Hopefully we can do it for Phoenix. I know we've got some East Coast friends coming in for the Phoenix show, but it's going to be a long haul to get from the venue back to our house. So if I don't drain my battery, I'm sure we can discuss Phoenix here in a week. Yeah.
We'll try to see what we can do there, and make sure you get ready because you had some cooler temperatures this week, only in the mid 90s, right?
I'm telling you, that show is so hot. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So it's Arizona. We're used to it. By the time the show starts, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's hot as hell. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. And hopefully for Phoenix, that the September weeks will help you ease off, because I know it can easily. I've been in the northern part of Arizona, but I know what 115 degrees feels like, and I don't want to feel it again.
So, that's hopefully we're past that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be great. It's gonna be hot. It's a Buddy Home show.
Yes.
So I'm expecting several spotlights on Buddy to let him shine.
Yeah, that'll be great. And they've only done it one other time in Phoenix. I think that was 2018 or 19.
2019 with Buddy, which was a Friday night show, which was great because they did it every day, and it was not Honey Honey, it was Buddy Buddy.
Yeah.
And it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on. And like I said, safe travels back to Arizona. I
will tell hello to everybody here, and
awesome.
Talk to you soon, Marcus.
All right, you take care. Goodbye.
All right, bye.
So yes, we have much better. The phone calls are working, and maybe that's by design. Maybe the Gorge, they just want people to call the old-fashioned way and meet up in person. But neither here nor there. I think that's one of the great things about the Gorge. You're just in a whole different zone. I'm thankful for everyone that came on tonight, but I know people who are there that, listen, they're just a little bit detached from their phone, or their phone may be dead, and that's okay, right? They're going to find their way back to their campsite, or their phone may be on low power. And that's really why we camp as humans. As we move further from, as we become a more civilized society, we kind of take for granted so many different things, like just simple conversation, just sitting down and relaxing and talking and just to do that, and to make treks, to walk a mile or two from a campground, the standard camping. Now Jeff and them, they're closer. Gold and Oasis is right there, but some of the standard campers, you're making a 2-mile trek. Back in the day, that's what people did. They walked 2 miles. Back in my day, we walked 2 miles. Just like funny the way it works. If someone walks 2 miles to school, or someone else eating out, whatever. It's been a long weekend, but I thank everyone who has come on. I thank everyone who supported this. Don't forget, guys, hit the like button. Everyone who's on right now, looks like there's 8 people. If you guys can hit the like button. If you're watching the replay, hit the like button. Why? Because when you hit the like button, this gets to more fans. My goal is just to be a light in this community, to share these reactions, share people's opinions that aren't even my opinions, right? Jeff likes certain songs I don't like. I like songs he doesn't like. And I just think that it's great to be able to talk with you guys, to exchange ideas with you guys. So hit the like button. It'll get this out to more people. And don't remember, Andy Mendoza has his channel as well right here. You can see it. It's just his name, Andy Mendoza. Subscribe to that. Support the video. I know we played it on here today. And, you can see some of these I've already watched. That Dreaming Tree was amazing, from the Woodlands that he got. But definitely support him. And like I said, we're onward and upward. We're going to Fiddlers. Those will be the next shows. Let's bring on the tour ticker so you guys can see the next couple of dates. So we got Fiddlers the 9th and the 10th, Phoenix the 14th, and then we get to Cali, Chula Vista, Mountain View, and then the Hollywood Bowl. And that's it. That's it for the summer tour. And as they say in Virginia in the Rain, summer ends too soon. It does. It does. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is the shot of the night right here. The Grugux King, the awesome encore, Dave on the Barry guitar, the Jerry Jones baritone guitar. This is amazing. And no one could really predict what you're getting in these shows. Hopefully we get a Copper Pot video. LUJJ012 will be in Denver. Awesome. Maybe we can try to have you give your reaction as well. I was right. Oh, let's see. Let's go to the bookmark. So I did now listen, everyone looks like an expert. It's all this is luck anyway. So if you guys look here, this was a poll we had. Will Shotgun and Dreaming Tree be played? I picked Dreaming Tree, and I was right. 63.2% people said Shotgun and Dreaming Tree will be played, but I got it right. You guys can see. So, yeah, that's the show, man. What more can I say, as Jay-Z said? Thank you guys again. Like I said, I cannot thank everyone enough. I'm having a ball doing this. And even though I'm not at the Gorge, some of these videos, the joy that people come on the phone calls, it makes me feel like part of me is there. So it is great. Let's see, close out. What are we gonna do for closeout? What was I gonna do for close? I had. Oh, you know what? You guys want to check this out? Or not check this out. No, we'll do that another time. We're gonna do drive in, drive out. I wish everyone safe travels. Be careful on the roads. If you are watching this video and you're heading out, and listen, I support law enforcement, but the state troopers, state police, or patrol in Washington, they cracked down this week. They want to keep everyone safe on the roads, but you will get pulled over if you are going too fast. So just watch your speed, especially if, like, Labor Day itself. If you're leaving most people are leaving tomorrow. So yeah, or today or whatever you want to say. It's now Labor Day in the West Coast. Yeah, I would just say be careful out if you're a first time gorger driving an RV, driving the rental. Just make sure you're driving. Speed limit says 70, drive 70. You can go with traffic. Just follow traffic. Stay in the right lane unless you're passing on parts of 90, because they will they crack down on that as well. And they know some tricks if you're an out of towner to get you. And it's just, again, they want to make sure things are moving smoothly and safely. Let's see. We are going to close out with the first. This was the big moment from. This was the first big moment of my tour. Was the drive in, drive out. My first ever drive in, drive out in Mansfield. I love that this song is back. There's only been 3 of them, right? Right. It's only been 3 of them, but we got one tonight. Yeah, drive in, drive out. Let me play 3 times. I got 2 of the 3. I saw 2 of the 3. I've seen had no drive in, drive outs before this tour, and now I've had 2. So thanks, Dave. And again, hit the like button. Hit the like button, folks. We're going to end with this drive in, drive out. You guys have a wonderful Labor Day. Be well, be safe. Love one another. Clean up your stuff after Dave shows, after any concert. Clean up your own stuff. Stop leaving trash on the floor of these shows. Recycle. Throw it away in the garbage. Yankees won. Hey, Tony C, the Yankees won today.
Let's go.
They've been struggling, but they got the dub. So let's go Yankees. Although I'm not a fan of Josh, he just seems like a jerk. He's on our team, but I don't. All right, guys, that's the show. Have a wonderful night. We're gonna drive in and drive out. Drive safe this Labor Day. Oh, just kidding. Oh, one quick thing. I forgot to talk about it. The poster. I thought the poster, it was not for me. He thought I was over. Encore, double encore. Concert Biz 34, double encore. I almost forgot. Where is the poster? Oh, that is not it. Let's see. This is the poster. Cool. I thought it's cool. I apparently it wasn't sold out. There was like a 2-inch stack of posters still left at one point during the show, like before the band came on. I think it's cool. Maybe it could have sold out. You know, the Gorge, people just buy it just to buy it sometimes. I think this was overall better than the posters from last year. It's just not my type of a Gorge poster. But I understand, like, some people love these double-faced and these, you know, you have these characters, these men or women and reflections and these intense looks like, like, so I understand why people like it. And you got the bird blended in. The colors don't scream Gorge to me. And this doesn't, I wouldn't take this home personally, but I think it is a good poster for people who like this type of thing. Did want to mention that. Almost forgot to mention that. I would say the triptych that we have is real good for this year. I think the last year's triptych was better. If I had to rank the non-triptych posters, Daniel Danger Daniel Danger Saturday was the best one. This one right here was the second best one. And the third one is the methane one, the methane train. Is the third of the bunch, but I think the posters took a step up this year. Huge improvements. If the worst one is the methane, it's still better than the best one from, or you could argue the Kauk one night 3 was better than the methane from night 1 this year. But overall, better post year. I hope to see strides in the single night posters. That's all. I'm leaving now for real. I'm leaving. We're driving in, driving out. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.
new garden, have a tea party of mine.